How do you effectively give feedback? That's what we're going to be covering. I'm going to be teaching you 5 simple tips of how you can give feedback effectively. Feedback is one of those topics where we need it in all parts of our life. We need it in professionally, we need it with our teams, with our clients, with our spouse, with our children, with our friends, with our neighbor. This is just one of those really important leadership skills. All of us, every single age, needs to learn how to really master it. So there's 5 things I want to really kind of make sure that we're highlighting in no particular order. The first thing I want to highlight is, the first tip is, it's really important to do feedback as much as you can in real time. This is a problem a lot of team members will complain about in a work setting, that too often they get feedback on their performance reviews. So it's like, 6 months, 12 months later, they're all of a sudden getting the feedback and they have no time to course correct it. They have no time to try to implement the change. And it really feels extremely unfair when managers actually do this. And so I actually, from an organizational perspective, I usually recommend for most organizations, I don't like performance reviews. I don't find them actually super effective. I think it's good from a traditional perspective and to document things, sure. But if the goal is to really change and curb behavior, you need to be doing it all the time and in a real time, so that it gives people a chance to really learn it, course correct it, and improve. And so for a lot of organizations that we work with, what they'll try doing is actually start teaching with a lot of their managers in particular to give feedback on the spot in real time, and let the performance review almost be, there's no surprises. By the time that person actually has received their performance review, everything that's documented, they've already had a conversation about it. And so the performance review is almost just more of a tradition, but the real change actually happens when they can actually be getting some feedback in real time. So really think about giving feedback in real time. And when I say that, and I don't mean like, let's have a conversation. I mean, like, it's very relational. You're doing this part really great. Next time, do ABC differently. So it's a conversational, it's very relational. And so when we can do that, and we can really kind of coach and help and mentor those around us, that's going to be really great for everybody. So that's kind of the first thing. Second thing is, make sure you share with a person what they're doing well. And this is not babysitting. This is not coddling. This is not, just kind of just trying to kind of make light of the situation. It is a really important thing when we are trying to change behavior. We're trying to inspire a person to do something differently. It is really important that we let them know first, what are they doing well? It doesn't matter whether it's work or home, whether it's with friendship or when you're marriage. There's certain things that we do well and there's certain things we don't do well. But if we can first hear what are we doing well first, that is going to help to reinforce what's called positive reinforcement. So it's what's called positive reinforcement, and it's actually going to really inspire a person to then pay attention to maybe with what's something that actually I need to work on. So really let the person know what they're doing well first, before you kind of introduced the type of behavior that you would actually like them to be doing differently. Okay, third one, timing, especially when we're actually giving constructive feedback, is timing. Really choose your timing carefully, because, for example, I had a client say he was really frustrated because his manager gave him his feedback right before he was about to go into like a major sales meeting. He's like, talk about the wrong timing. He said, I appreciate the feedback, but the timing was like completely wrong. I had to be on, I had to be energized for this meeting. I was not energized. I was distracted. I didn't have a chance to kind of like debrief it with my manager. And so you want to make sure that you choose your timing well. So ideal times generally are when people are relaxed, when they're not going to be interrupted, when they have when there's actual physical time to actually have a conversation actually about it. That's really great. And obviously when it's private, right? You want to make sure that you're having these conversations private. So really choose your timing carefully. Okay. Next tip. So what are we at now? Number 4 is be careful of your language. So really be cognizant around using language like I think, from my perspective, Here's what I think we should be doing. Here is my thought. I really appreciate it when ... So the key word is I. If you start with the word you, and I think a lot of us have probably heard this before, but I'm just going to make sure that we're all on the same page. If you start with the word you, it's automatically going to get a person on defense, and they're going to feel attacked, and it's aggressive. Really be careful with using I language. And that is number 4. And the last one is, and this is all, by the way, this is all kind of like given in a very short period of time. The idea here is that you really are wanting this to be a dialogue. It's not like you're just kind of like sharing everything and this is a one-way conversation. You want to share your thoughts, saying, here's what I think, this is what you're doing really well. Here's what actually I think maybe you could do that actually would be, make it even better. What are your thoughts? And so it becomes like this flow. Let the person know with what they're doing well. This is what they could do a little bit different. What are your thoughts? And so you want to be ending that because it really is important that they have a chance to kind of respond. Maybe they agree, maybe they disagree, maybe with what you have asked for is not realistic. So it's really important to say, like, what are your thoughts with what I just said? Do you agree, disagree? And get them to kind of weigh in. And because if there's now a conversation and they can say, yes, you've got a really good point. I'm going to do ABC a little bit differently. Then you kind of have a bit of a resolution to it. If they say, thanks for sharing, but no, I actually disagree, then you can then kind of have a different conversation, which is really around problem solving. I'll have other videos that talk about problem solving. This is just really a chance. This video is really just is more focused on just kind of giving feedback effectively, hopefully creating a space where a person actually is wanting to listen to. The most important thing when we're talking about feedback is you want to try to create an environment of safety. So when people feel safe, they're more likely to listen. If they don't feel safe, they will tend to not listen. Even though what you say is fantastic, they won't be open to it. And so you want to really create a sense of safety and always kind of with that intent that you're giving the feedback to help them improve. I really love when I'm giving feedback to try to also include the intent. Okay, this is a bonus one. This wasn't in my notes, but I'm gonna tell it to you anyway. This would be the bonus. This is the bonus 6th tip, is let the person know why you're telling them. Let them, what is your intent? Why are you telling them? Are you telling them to bother them, to irritate them? Or are you telling them because you really see tremendous potential in them and you want them to thrive in this particular work? Or you want to have a great relationship in your marriage? Like, why are you telling this person this feedback? And if you can kind of state your intent, and if your intent is to help and to inspire, and because you want a great working relationship, you want a great relationship with your kids or your spouse, let the person know that. Because knowing the intent helps a person know they care about me. And if you feel cared for, you're more likely to listen. And that is when feedback becomes such a gift, when we know that it's information to really help us learn and grow.